Your rights are under attack. What do? Stand up, fight back.
Who will go pissed off today?
They have taken a right away, a constitutional right, for those of us who stand at intersections as far as our race. This should concern you.
A right that pregnant people had been afforded for almost 50 years is no longer in existence. We're in a period of time where we don't have precedent of how to move forward. The state regulations, some of them are on hold, some of them have taken effect. So we have states that have passed bans that leave no exception for victims of rape, that leave no exceptions for the life or health of the woman, the pregnant person. Lots of legal challenges going forward, and that's just the regulation and the state policy. We haven't even started getting into what will inevitably be case by case, lawsuits against abortion providers, against women.
We have dreaded this. It has felt like a morning even before it happened because we knew it would.
It is a very fraught legal landscape for people seeking abortion care. The court removed the federal floor that protected access to abortion and returned the issue to the states. It has put an issue of essential health care into the hands of state legislators, and we've already seen that it has not gone well. A Missouri legislator had a bill that would criminalize termination of an ectopic pregnancy through abortion, not realizing that an ectopic pregnancy is not only not ever going to be viable, but it's also lethal if untreated through medical procedures that is abortion. As soon as there is a Republican majority in Congress, they will likely pass a fetal personhood law, and that will outlaw abortion in every state in the nation. And so what we're seeing right now might just be the first volley. There might be much more to come.
Missouri has an abortion ban in place. Kansas right now is in a bit of a precarious situation, and a lot of it will depend on what happens after the primary election on August 2nd. If it is passed, what that will do is take away the right to abortion, which the Supreme Court has found to exist in the state of Kansas.
The Value Them Both Amendment is a pro-life constitutional amendment that just simply restores the people's ability to have a conversation. Value Them Both is a direct response to the 2019 state Supreme Court decision, which cleared a path for a nearly unlimited abortion industry. I believe we should have basic sanitation laws in place to protect women. I believe that my tax dollars shouldn't be used to fund abortions. I believe there should be bans on abortion in the third trimester.
So when we look at Kansas relative to other states in the country where abortion is still legal, it's heavily regulated here. There are dozens and dozens of anti-abortion provisions on the books. It requires them to tell things to the person seeking an abortion. Confusing information has misinformation or inaccurate information in it, requiring ultrasound, waiting periods, gestational limits. We also have specific provisions around minors and minors' access to abortion. There are bans on telehealth medicine. Abortion is one of the safest reproductive healthcare procedures that a person can receive. Abortion providers and clinics are one of the most regulated outpatient healthcare facilities in the country. So that is just simply not true. Full stop. I mean, there's just no evidence to support it. There's just not a whole lot to say beyond that. It is a false claim.
There will be, and there has been, an enormous amount of misinformation that is going to try and dissuade the people of Kansas. It's going to try and confuse the people of Kansas. Value Them Both does not create any new policy, and it doesn't take away any new policy. Value Them Both does not ban abortion. The only thing Value Them Both bans is taxpayer funding of abortion.
So how do you get away from that reality that the groups that are behind it, they're anti-abortion.
The only thing Value Them Both does is restore the people's ability to come to a consensus on abortion. It does not ban abortion.
It's very disingenuous to say if this constitutional amendment passes, that doesn't mean there'll be a ban on abortion, because that's exactly what we've seen around the country in states that are similar in political partisanship and political agendas as they are in Kansas.
When this passes, Value Them Both, yes, on August 2, then that will open up the way for trigger bills to pass. Is that right?
But we do have one already, it's HB 2746, so we'll look that up tonight.
So until we vote that there's not a guaranteed abortion in our Constitution, we got to vote for this amendment, we'll be able to make further laws, further refinement, with my goal of life starting at conception.
They want to take protection of abortion out of the state's constitution, which is the first step to paving the way to banning abortion completely in the state of Kansas.
You know, a lot of people talk about these later term abortions are such a problem, but there's only 3% of us that have them. We went in for our anatomy scan with our daughter, Hope. We found out that she had osteogenesis imperfecta type 2, which is the lethal version of brittle bone disease. Her condition was not only life-threatening to her, but it also threatened my life as well. And so we made the difficult decision to have an abortion at 18 weeks. We needed to save my life. I already had a 3-year-old at home and a husband that I needed to go home to. The laws that they wrapped around the clinic at the time actually caused me some trauma and caused myself some post-traumatic stress. They asked me 6 different times if I wanted to be there having the abortion. Deep down in my heart, did I want to be there doing that? No, I wanted a healthy baby, but that just wasn't in the cards for us. We had to do another ultrasound. Days earlier, I had been through a 2.5-hour ultrasound examining every single broken bone in her body. The inhumanity of that law making me look at that one more time was cruel. Abortions like this have to happen in a clinic as opposed to a full hospital because of funding laws. Because you're not in a full hospital, you can't be completely anesthetized for a procedure like this. Unfortunately, every time I fell asleep, I would stop breathing. So they had to keep waking me up. So I saw everything. It's not the caregiver's fault for any of this. They gave me this blanket that they held her in. They gave me her footprints as well as a poem. You know, I can't thank them enough for how kind they were, but the fact is that what happened because of the laws caused me trauma.
Well, I know abortions won't end. Just because they're criminalized will not stop them. They're safer now than they have ever been. And so people will somehow get their hands on what they need. People with privilege will be the most able to get their hands on what they need.
They can self-manage their abortion. They could order abortion pills online through services such as Aid Access, which are safe and effective using the same medications that are FDA approved. However, using these services opens people up to legal risks.
It'll be interesting to see what happens now that abortion opponents are on the defensive and the abortion rights movement is on the offensive. If it will open up new ways of thinking about abortion in ways that aren't tied to this narrowly cabined constitutional rights framing. I think the reproductive justice framework is going to be becoming much more relevant.
Reproductive justice is encompassing of all issues, not just abortion, but those also that are intersectional. It's about housing. It's about racism. It's about all of those things that impact Black and Indigenous communities.
It is much more focused on a grassroots movement, trying to protect reproduction across a broad range of issues, giving people the right to exercise bodily autonomy, whether they want to have children or not. And it considers these issues within larger systems of race and class and disability, immigration status, gender identity.
You know, the initial reaction is, how do we repair this? How do we undo what the Supreme Court has done? How do we restore reproductive rights for people across the United States? Burnout is real, and this isn't something that's good. You don't have to do all the things tomorrow. This is a long road.
Out here, this is labor that we are doing based off of our strength and our love and our care for this community of people.
Having a rally isn't the work. Having a protest isn't the work. Shouting in the streets isn't the work. It makes us feel good in the moment, and there is space and a need and time for that. But right now, we need to be focused on supporting people, caring for people, and quite frankly, following the direction and leadership of Black and Indigenous-led organizations. Those folks who will be more impacted by this decision than anyone else. We need, and particularly white allies, to know that they not matter than us about this. So I hope that those people who go in the streets come along and work with us. We have to lean on each other, support each other, and figure out how to get somebody out of town to get an abortion.
We are going to stand up. We are going to fight back. We are going